me, being a jaded, faded New Yorker, tried to talk him out of it because to me, New York was not the towers. But I got to see New York and the towers through my son's eyes. And we had a bond with those towers. And then the towers fell on September 11th, 2001. And we cried. From 3,000 miles apart, we cried. And you're going to see me cry again today. And then my girlfriend at the time, my wife, Barry Denner, was up in Northampton, shattered by the loss of the towers and the attack on our country. And she got on the phone with me, and we spent 7 hours talking that day and watching television. And then I went up to get her to bring her down here because she couldn't be alone. And we've been together ever since. That is my bond with the World Trade Towers. And when they fell, we all felt the loss. A year later, my late friend, the dear Carmine Liberta, and I wanted to do something. So together with the Ferrante family, we planted this tree of remembrance. And every year since then, the public has been coming and putting down poems and flags and crosses and yurtside candles. And it's been a place where people can come and remember. Carmine and I always talked about doing a real memorial. And one night I was driving taxi at JFK and everything stopped and a flatbed went past me with police and fire escort. Just lights, no sirens. And I found out that it was steel from the towers that was being warehoused in the hangars there for memorials. And the seed was planted that night. And together with former fire chief Kevin McGuire and my wife, we wrote to the Port Authority and we got a piece of steel from the North Tower for our memorial. And talking with Lieutenant Lucchese, who's here somewhere, LT, and the chief, who can't be here, we found out that first responders in Rockland County brought them a stanchion that stood in the promenade of the South Tower. So the idea was complete. We got together, and where's Kurt? Kurt from KC Fabrications in Gardner is here. Here's Kurt, thank you. KC Fabrications, right here in Gardner, is a company that built the bronze names at the 9/11, and I reached out to Kurt. I reached out to Rick Alfondre and Alfondre Associates and Mark Massio. Mark's here, probably by the backhoe. And we designed a plan, and over here you'll see our site plan. We started to raise money. Unofficially, there were 3,300 people who lost their lives. As of today, thanks to some contributions today, we have $3,300 started in our fund. It's $1 for every life lost, and we will continue until next year, on the 15th anniversary, we will be dedicating this site as a commemorative memorial from the community of New Paltz. Not from me, not from the PD or the fire department, although we honor them, but from the community of New Paltz. We've gotten $10 contributions and $1,000 contributions, and it comes from the grassroots on up to the corporations. And I thank each and every one of you who are here today who contributed, and to those in the future who will contribute. I'd like to recognize our police and our fire folks who are here today, and our first responders. Please give them a round of applause. They put their lives on the line every day. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God. Thank you. Now you know my story with the memorial. We have a local resident here, our good friend Kevin Israeli, who is managing the restaurant Windows of the World on top of the towers. I'd like to call upon Kevin to just address the crowd a little bit, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Israeli, and I live here in New Paltz. I've lived in New Paltz for 25 years. I actually graduated New Paltz College. I have 4 children. 3 have already graduated from Paltz High School, and 1 is in her junior year. So I'm a full-time resident. I worked at Windows in the World after I graduated college here. From the very, very beginning in 1976 until September 11, 2001. You know how many people died at the World Trade Center? At Windows in the World, the restaurant, we lost 72 people on that day. And I'd never spoken publicly about this because it's just a little bit too hard. So I'm shaking a little bit. Sometimes you keep inside that you can't get it out. But every single day, including a day like today, is when I focus on all of those people that were lost that day. I go to Mohawk. That's where I go on September 11th. And I go to the tower at Mohawk. 8 o'clock in the morning. And I stay up in the tower until noon, when all the destruction was over and the deaths had taken place. And I make a point that I worked in the Twin Towers, and I started with one other tower before I got to the Twin Towers, and that was the one at Mohawk. 443 firefighters lost their life that day. Over 50 police officers from New York City, as well as Port Authority police, lost their life that day. In all honesty, and I know some of you, I don't know all of you, I've been trying to figure out a way to give back. And when Butch contacted me, I said whatever he wants. So besides donating money and things like that, which is part of all of it, the idea is to try to help out with everything here. Just one final note, because it's personal. I never really got a chance, and I see firefighters and police officers in the audience right now. A few years after September 11th, my house burned down, and the fire department of New Paltz, New York. Can we get a little round of applause, please? Because I can tell you my state of mind during that particular time, not only my house burning down, but coming after September 11th. So I just want to thank everybody, and I guess it was Simon and Garfunkel. Sounds of Silence. And the words of the prophet are written on the subway walls, tenement halls. So I'm up at Mohawk today, and everybody's writing different things on the very, very top of the tower. And it said, the one that caught my eye was, live life and love life. So this is a thank you to all of you in New Paltz for doing all of this kind of work. Thank you, Butch. Onward.
Thank you, Kevin. You honor us just being here today. Rich.
High-tech music on cell phone.
In light of Kevin's words, I'd like us all to welcome, she's called the Piper Laureate of Saugerties, but I call her the Piper Laureate of Ulster County, our good friend, Peggy Mulligan. And the second time around, please join in. You'll know the song. before we have the actual groundbreaking, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the community for coming out today, but also remind you that we will be fundraising until next year. The checks can be made from $1 to whatever you feel and whatever you can. The checks will be made to the fire department of New Paltz, or the New Paltz Fire Department. It's P.O. Box 656, New Paltz, New York, 12561, and you'll put 911 in the memo, please. And I want to thank you all. And now we're going to call upon Mark Massio to make the ceremonial first dig, and then anybody, police, fire, community, who would like to take part and make this part of yourselves, please, we have shovels here, and we would encourage and invite everybody to please do that. Thank you. Following the shoveling, we will all come back to a moment of silence. Our New Paltz High School interpreter, Darren Tsai, will lead us in a moment of silence followed by taps.